Right. So today we're going deep on Donna Morrissey's Kit's Law.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be using a bunch of different critical analyses and summaries and that kind of thing to
Yeah.
really get to the heart of what makes this book tick, without having to actually read the whole thing.
Right.
Um, but one of the things that jumps out at you right away, just from reading about it,
Yeah.
is the setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's this really stark and almost brutal kind of place, right? This Newfoundland fishing village.
Absolutely. Like the land and the sea. They aren't just backdrops. They're like characters.
Yeah, they're like these forces that shape everything and everyone.
Yeah, exactly. The summaries really highlight how Morrissey just like throws you right into that environment.
Right.
Like you're right there in this remote village.
Yeah.
And it really like molds the people who live there.
And you can tell right away that like Morrissey's a really talented writer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those descriptions that we were reading about,
Yeah.
like you can almost taste the salt spray and feel the wind. And
Yes, totally. And that's so important because life there is like this constant, push and pull with the ocean.
Right.
I mean, it provides for them, but it can also be so dangerous.
Exactly.
You always have to be aware of it,
Right. Yeah, you're at the mercy of the elements.
Totally. And the language itself even reflects that,
Oh, yeah.
It's described as like rugged, mirroring that landscape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not like flowery prose or anything.
No.
It's like direct and to the point.
Okay. So we have this incredible setting, but we also have these really interesting characters.
Yes.
And at the center of it all, we have Kit and Alice.
Right.
Kit is haunted by this loss of her brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Alice, her mother, is like
Oh.
this really hardened woman shaped by grief and like maybe what some people would call superstition.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they both kind of seem like
Yeah.
products of their environment,
Yeah.
shaped by the harsh realities of life there.
So these aren't like your typical, happy-go-lucky character.
Oh, no, not at all. The analyses all point out,
Yeah.
that they're flawed.
Yeah.
They make mistakes. They have to make really difficult choices.
Right.
But I think that's part of what makes them so relatable.
Yeah.
Like, you can see yourself in them.
Especially in this really tough world that they live in.
Yeah, yeah, and the relationship,
Oh, yeah.
like between Kit and Alice. I mean,
Right.
that's like the emotional core of the book.
Right. So mother and daughter
Yeah.
both dealing with this like immense grief.
Exactly. And it's complicated,
Yeah.
There's tension there.
Right.
It's not always easy between them.
Okay. So we've got these really complicated characters and this amazing setting, but the themes also seem really important.
Oh, definitely. Like, family and community are huge.
Yeah.
But there's also this idea of love and forgiveness, like even in the midst of all this hardship.
Right.
But it's not all sunshine and roses either.
Right. Yeah. The sources we looked at also mentioned a darker side to it.
Yes, there's jealousy, there's resentment,
Yeah.
there are secrets that people are keeping,
Right. And it really feels like Morrissey isn't shying away from those difficult aspects of human nature.
Not at all. And it's like, even in these tightly knit communities that are facing all this adversity from the outside, there's still like internal conflict, like human nature doesn't just disappear because you're all in the same boat.
Exactly.
And I think the theme of grief is so important too. It's like this weight that hangs over the whole community.
Yeah.
And it contributes to this sense of isolation.
Okay, so we've got all these really heavy themes going on.
All right.
And the summaries mentioned that the style and the pacing of the book are really deliberate.
Yes. It's definitely not a fast-paced page-turner. It's more like a slow burn,
Right.
And I think that pacing allows you to really sink into the atmosphere and the characters in our lives.
Yeah.
It's like a contemplative read.
Okay, so if we were to sort of sum up the strengths of Kit's Law based on all these critical perspectives, it seems like the writing itself is really something special.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's so evocative and powerful.
And that authentic portrayal of Newfoundland culture also seems to be a big plus.
Yes. It really feels like you're transported to this specific place and time.
Okay, but of course, no book is perfect.
True.
And the sources did mention some potential challenges for readers.
Yeah, the bleakness of the narrative is definitely a factor.
Right. It's not a lighthearted story by any means.
No, and it can be emotionally demanding.
Yeah, and the ending is another thing that came up.
Yeah, some critics felt it was a bit ambiguous.
Okay.
Maybe not as conclusive as some readers might prefer.
So it sounds like Kit's Law is a book that really stays with you.
Absolutely. It's not one you just forget about.
Yeah.
It makes you think you know.
Right. Challenges you. So if you're looking for a book that's going to like transport you to a different world and make you feel things deeply, Kit's Law might be the one for you.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
All right, so we've gone pretty deep on Kit's Law today.
We have.
But I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how the setting and the characters are shaped by this really harsh environment.
Right.
But I think it's interesting to consider how our own environments and heritages shape us, even if we don't live in, a remote fishing village or anything.
Yeah.
Like, how do the places we come from and the stories that have been passed down to us influence who we are?
Definitely something to think about.
And I think Kit's Law also raises some really interesting questions about the human spirit. Like, what does it take to survive in the face of overwhelming adversity?
Right.
And what happens to our relationships and our communities when we're all just trying to get by?
Yeah. What does that do to us?
Definitely something to ponder.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Kit's Law.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.